This is Tom Fox. I'd like to welcome you to the newest addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. Join us as we explore the latest trends from the Department of Justice, share some best practices, demystify complex compliance issues to help keep your organization doing business ethically and in compliance, and at the end of the day, more profitably. Tune in daily for your dose of compliance wisdom. Let's make compliance a little less daunting, one tip at a time. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Today we continue our look at design objectives for your compliance training program. First, standardization. There are some things that really irritate learners, particularly those in the corporate environment. One is a lack of standards between course offerings. Learners don't want to have to learn to use different navigation techniques in different courses. This is as simple as standardizing the look and feel of your compliance training, the location of forward and back buttons, the locations of resources, and even the types of test questions at the end of your training. Moreover, if all of your courses have a standard look and feel, similar learning experiences, and similar kinds of knowledge checks, the vast majority of employees will spend the time learning rather than trying to figure out how to move through the course. Next, strategically planned. Once again, the DOJ wants to see your organization train its employees to your compliance risk. Under the 2023 ECCP, this means you have to start an analysis to determine who should be trained and on what subjects. From that point, has there been training for employees in relevant control functions? Have you provided tailored training for high-risk and control employees, including training that addresses risks in the area where the misconduct in your organization may have occurred? Finally, have supervisory employees received different or supplemental training? Next, engaged or engaging. In the 2023 ECCP, the DOJ for the first time focused on compliance training, which would hold the audience's attention, saying, quote, companies have invested in shorter, more targeted training sessions to enable employees to timely identify and raise issues to appropriate compliance, internal audit, and other risk management functions. You want your courses to be relevant to the audience's situation, and you want to make the learner think about what they may be doing going forward. All of this really points to how you treat your audience. Obviously, for compliance training, your audience are your own internal employees, but do you treat them with really dignity, respect, and as an adult? So make the training engaging, developed for the audience it's intended, whether that be gatekeepers or those at higher compliance risk. As I said in the opening of this podcast, this month's sponsor of the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico, and they've developed a toolkit for middle managers that will help middle managers in intaking information from employees and, equally importantly, understanding how to respond and how to get the information up to compliance for the decision makers. We've linked to this toolkit in our show notes, so check it out at ethico.com. This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily, and frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network.